Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
Busch Stadium in St. Louis awaits a afternoon tilt featuring National League Central Division rivalry baseball. Series on the line today. It's the final game between the Reds and Cardinals here in 2018. And hi again, everyone, with Chris Welsh, Jim Day. Thanks for joining us for Reds baseball here on Fox Sports Ohio. A couple of streaks on the line here today, the biggest of which for the Cardinals, who are right in the playoff hunt. They can set a franchise record with a win today, their 11th consecutive series win.
Well, for as well as they played in the month of August, they got up to September in a bad way last night, but they have won 10 straight series for the first time since '09. But the Reds, however, they're looking for a little streak of their own right now. They've won each of the last two series against the Cardinals. They win this ball game today. It makes 3 in a row.
So long, it was so hard for the Reds to win games in this stadium, so this would be a big feather in their cap with a victory here today. Scooter Gennett, he went into the All-Star break leading the National League in hitting, cooled down after the break, but of late has turned it back up.
Waving that magic wand again. I mean, it seems like every time he puts the ball in play, hard or soft, he finds a way to get on base. He went right down the right field line last night, down the left field line. You know, he's got a .419 average over his last 16 ball games. Multi-hit games everywhere, and again, right in the middle of this Reds lineup, getting it done.
Reds are very confident when they give the ball to Anthony DeSclafani. Perfect guy to have on the mound going for a series victory in St. Louis. And in the month of August, there were flashes of the DeSclafani of old.
Well, because he finally got his sea legs under him. It takes a while to get your rhythm back as a pitcher. I mean, it's such a fine line between pitching a good game and pitching a mediocre game. What he's doing now, though, is actually pitching and not throwing. I mean, he's not really overpowering anybody, but he's hitting the corners, changing speeds. He's got great movement on a little two-seamer that he throws inside against left-handers. His slider is very effective against right-handers. And, you know, he's the best guy right now to give the ball to on a rubber game like today.
He will face righty Luke Weaver here today.
Weaver's been in the bullpen last couple of weeks. But, you know, early in the year, he was the second-best starter on this ball club, along with Carlos Martinez, who, by the way, is also in the bullpen. But Weaver's a guy that is going to be in this ball game because they're trying to give everybody else in the rotation one extra day of rest. So fastball changeup for Weaver. He's got a really good changeup. Don't look for much of the curveball because when you're in the bullpen, you don't get to develop that pitch very much.
The beginning of September means September call-ups, and many times it's welcome to the bigs, and the Reds welcome this guy to the bigs. Jeff Picoro has that story when we come back.
Was brought to you by Chevy. Check out our award-winning lineup only your Tri-State Chevy dealers. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time. Well, one of the great joys of any minor league manager's career is to tell guys they get called up to the major leagues. That happens a lot around September 1st, call-up time in the majors. It happened for Dick Schofield, and the Reds got themselves a backup shortstop in Blake Trahan, and he's just happy to be up here, and how he got the call is very interesting.
My manager's Dick Schofield. He called me into his office, and he made it a funny little joke, man. And so he told me, and it went down good. And we called Billy Dern right off the back, and so I had a conversation with Billy, and it was all good.
This team really doesn't have a true backup shortstop. So have they told you anything about what their plans are to use you going forward?
Not yet, man. But when they do, I'll be ready to just do whatever they want me to do. You know, I'll be ready to do my job every day.
You played every day in Louisville, and what's it like now to be here and have to come off the bench or not get to play every day? How do you kind of adjust to that?
Yeah, it's definitely a different role. You just gotta, stay in the game. Keep the mind sharp. Be able to stay in the game, stay in the moment, and when your name's called, you got to be ready.
Did you tell your mom, dad, or girlfriend, or wife, or anything like that?
I sure did. I called my parents first, and they were stoked, man. They were excited, and they're actually on the way now, so it'll be cool.
So Trahan's parents and girlfriend are here at the ballpark to watch him play. And when we come back, September baseball. Boy, there are some fun races around. We're going to show you the National League West and the National League Wild Card coming up.
September's fun. You win a division, it's an amazing feeling because that's the goal. That's the first step to where you want to be.
Let the celebration begin! The Chicago Cubs are NL Central champions!
I mean, it's playoff atmosphere every game, and it's just kind of what we sign up for when you want to play baseball.
The closer you are to the postseason, the more anxious our fans are. It's always fun playing in late September, knowing that you get the chance of making the postseason.
Francisco Lindor does it again!
It's intense. Every game matters. You got to come ready to play, but that's what we love. That's why you play this game.
The adrenaline is running the highest level possible. You get a chance to make history, and we did that last year. We can't wait to do it again.
Well, where is Jim Day when you need him? We have the mascots here. It's a birthday party here on the field. Anyway, September baseball is a lot of fun. And last night in the National League West, boy, things are starting to get hairy as we get down the stretch. It's our T-Mobile built for baseball. Patrick Corbin had a heck of a game going in the first 7 innings. And then came the 8th inning, trailing 2-0. Matt Kemp hits a 3-run homer off Archie Bradley, and then Kenley Jensen gets a save as the Dodgers win 3-2. That puts them in a tie for the National League West. Arizona and the Dodgers, they are both 74-62, and Colorado is right there, just a half game behind them at 73-62. And San Francisco a game under 500. So as we look at the wild card standings, St. Louis and Milwaukee are neck and neck there. And then it's Arizona and Los Angeles who are tied. Colorado 2 games back, and Philadelphia at 72-63, just 3 games out. So it is going to be a wild September as we head down the stretch in Major League Baseball for those 2 coveted wild card spots. All right, it's September baseball in the Gateway City, and whoever wins today is going to win the series, and Anthony DeSclafani gets the nod for the Reds.
Three-game set moments away here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And here's how Jim Riggleman will send him out today. Billy Hamilton still in the leadoff spot. Jose Peraza behind him. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez in the middle. Scott Schebler in right field. Mason Williams gets the start in left field this afternoon. Kurt Casale in for Tucker Barnhart. He'll be hanging the signs for Anthony DeSclafani. The Reds will try their luck off of 24-year-old right-hander Luke Weaver.
Yeah, 24 years old and already in his 3rd season as a major leaguer. He had 8 starts in 2016 when he was 22. Last year he had a pretty good year. He was 7-2 with a 3.8 earned run average. This year he started off great and slowed down here. They got taken out of the bullpen basically, or put into the bullpen a couple of weeks ago. Get somewhat of an emergency start here. Fastball, change up, occasional curveball for Luke Weaver, but most of the time you're going to see him throw that fastball and try to elevate it. That's where he gets a lot of strikeouts.
Hamilton stepping in for the left-hand side. The switch hitter, full bat lefty here against the righty Weaver. A mixture of sun and clouds here this afternoon.
Wind up and the pitch, and we are underway. Ed Hickox calling balls and strikes behind the plate. Gabe Morales at first. John Lipka at second base. Crew chief Jerry Meals down at third. Count evens at 1-1 to Billy Hamilton. Hamilton just 1 for 9 in this series, but he is coming off of an August that saw him hit .306. And at the time, through August, raised his batting average from .225 to .244. Sitting at .241 overall right now. The 1-2. And he stays alive.
Well, the all-important on-base percentage number for Billy Hamilton, which really way outweighs whatever the batting average is, the slugging, or anything else. I mean, he's got 4 home runs, but that on-base percentage hovers right around .302. The very low end of the expectation poll there for Hamilton.
What would be the range that they would be looking for?
I think the 320 probably is something that they would start smiling about.
Yep. Two-two pitch. Hit well into right center field. And Bader will cut it off. Billy's trying for second base and in there easily. And a head of steam the whole way did Billy. And no chance for Bader to spin and get Hamilton.
You know, I don't know if we could break this down from a StatCast standpoint, but I'd love to get Billy's time from home to first, and then from first when he touches the first base bag to second, because it seems like when he hits that bag in stride, I mean, he's at second base before you even look up. Like a NASCAR hitting that curve, you know, using that first base to push off and see if they can't get him in now.
Wow, you went NASCAR on us. Very nice branching out in your analysis. First pitch strike to Peraza. 287 batter is Jose. 9 home runs, 45 RBIs. And has had pretty good luck. Oh, let's not call it luck, let's call it skill. It's the Cardinals, 319 club. Peraza 2 for 8 in the series. Does have a double and an RBI and has scored 2 runs. Including a run here last night, the Reds' 4-0 victory. This will get Billy to third. So a productive out for Peraza. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for the Cardinals. Change in the outfield, Marcell Ozuna in left field today. Bader in center, Martinez in right. And a couple of changes in the infield as well, as far as what we've seen previously in the series. Patrick Wisdom getting the start at third base, which moves Carpenter to first base. Greg Garcia getting the start at second base for the Cardinals today. And here's Votto with an RBI 90 feet away. And Votto had an RBI here last night, which tied Ted Kluszewski for 7th on the all-time Reds RBI list since 1900.
Boy, very Cardinal-looking defense right here. First inning, I mean, they are not giving anything away. They bring the infield in. They know that the Reds have already tried a contact play the other night with Scott Schebler at third base. And they're basically holding Billy Hamilton on the third. I mean, Patrick Wisdom has got 1 foot on the bag down there, like he's a first baseman holding Hamilton on. Very interesting the way they're doing that, because if they feel like if Hamilton gets a big enough lead, even if they hit a ground ball to the infield, he's going to be able to score. So that's why they want to make him run the full 90 feet instead of letting him have a big lead down the line. I don't think I have seen this in a long, long time. This is right out of the Tony La Russa playbook.
Weaver ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Check swing. Appeal to third. No.
Well, the Reds know it, and probably the Cardinals know that the Reds know it, that Weaver's not going to throw a lot of off-speed stuff with 2 strikes. He likes the fastball. He can elevate it. That's where he gets the most of his stuff. But he might throw the changeup occasionally.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Votto. Full count. Telling someone to zip it. Probably Billy. He was looking towards third. You see that?
There's always the one guy in the stands you can hear. Happens to be your teammate.
And Votto draws a walk. 93rd walk of the season for Votto, and that'll move him into second in the National League in that category.
One thing about Votto and that at bat, he didn't take any pitches that he could potentially drive the run in on. He fouled a couple of back, and really after that, Weaver never gave him much to take a hack at. So the Reds trying to stay out of a double play here, which would guarantee a run.
First pitch to Scooter Gennett, and Scooter is back in the National League lead and hitting at .318. Percentage points ahead of Christian Yelich. He was 2 for 4 here last night, was Scooter Gennett. Check out our StatCast AI powered by AWS. This is a sacrifice fly line.
I'll tell you what, this one right field, you can forget about that. There's no way you're going to throw Billy Hamilton out from that line.
I'm not sure you throw him out at any of those lines, but let's hope we find out. Or at least Gennett puts it in the outfield somewhere. It's behind the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Getting a better lead down there at third base now, with Wisdom playing off the bag now with a runner on first base. Although you're always mindful of Molina throwing behind you.
Yeah, he and Tucker Barnhart really are the 2 guys. Barnhart's not in this game today, but they are 2 guys that really like the back pick. Wilson Contreras on that list too.
2-2 pitch. .319 batter with runners in scoring position. And Scooter has been better on the road than at home as a hitter. .327 average on the road. Stays alive here.
You may wonder why Weaver, that's the first time he's thrown the ball down in the zone to Gennett here. And you may wonder, well, with a man at first base, would you be thinking about maybe keeping the ball down, get a ground ball double play? But Weaver doesn't do that. He's only forced 2 ground ball double plays. That's less than 4% of the time, one of the lowest numbers in the minor leagues. So he's going for the strikeout here. That's why he's elevating the fastball for the most part. This time going to try it inside.
Jeanette himself has grounded into 13 double plays this season and has only 5 sacrifice flies. Count holds at 2-2. And Jeanette, what a piece of hitting right there. And this will plate Hamilton for a 1-0 lead. RBI 81 for Scooter.
What a really good at bat. I mean, he fouled off a number of really tough pitches. Jeanette did. Finally got an off-speed pitch. They're hoping that he was going to roll over on this one. That's a changeup that he's just able to rifle that right by Matt Carpenter. Votto goes to third. Jeanette picks up the RBI. The Reds go ahead, and that's the way you get this baby going.
Still first and third. 1 in, 1 out. And Suarez at the plate. And Suarez riding a modest 4-game hitting streak. RBI total sitting at 98. Only 1 behind Javier Baez for the lead in the National League. And the ball gets past Molina. Here comes Votto to the plate. 2-0 Reds. Thank you very much.
Boy, this is about the opposite of what you would think when you're talking about Cardinal baseball right there. Molina tried the best he could. The ball just hit off the heel of his glove. The hardest part of the glove, and it ricocheted away. Votto comes in.
And Jeanette now in scoring position at second base. Strike called, and a high one at that. Two on to Suarez. Check swing. 3-1. Taxing inning so far for Luke Weaver. So 27 pitches, still only 1 out. Swing and a miss. Full count.
That changeup that he just threw there is his favorite pitch when he gets behind the count. He'll occasionally throw the curveball in there, but for me, early indications are he just doesn't have the feel of the release point yet. Double play no longer in order, thanks to that wild pitch.
Payoff pitch to Suarez, and we'll keep it right there.
Every pitcher goes out there, you know, you start the game, you just dream of a nice, easy 10-pitch inning where you get a couple of pop-ups or a ground ball, and it all started the wrong way for Weaver with that opposite field double by Hamilton.
And he walked him. Another good at bat. Middle of the order for the Reds. Second walk of the inning for Weaver. And this will bring pitching coach Mike Maddox to the mound.
Let's see if he puts his arm on Weaver. You mentioned it last night.
You can book it.
That's part of the MO here for Maddox. If Weaver has to stand up first to do that. Okay, now.
Here we go. And there it is.
Okay.
It's every time.
That might be like kind of like the Vulcan grip.
It might be, and there's the pat on the chest. He'll do that again before he leaves. Oh, a little massage. You might want to massage the pitching side of that. A couple pats on the chest. That's his MO. Been a good pitching coach, so it's worked. First and second, one out. Scott Schebler at the plate.
Boy, be ready on the first pitch you see right here. Guys walk 2 in the inning. He's at the 30 pitch mark. He wants a strike in the worst way.
And he misses inside. Schebler loves to see the Cardinals as the opponent. Last 27 appearances overall versus St. Louis, just under 400 batter, 395. .411 hitter in his last 18 appearances here at Busch Stadium. The 1-1. 1-2. Pitch up and in. Shake of the head by Schebler. In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luke Weaver 0-2 in his last 3 starts overall and has lasted more than 4 innings only 1 time. With 34 pitches and counting here in the first.
Well, he's thrown 2 breaking pitches, that off-speed changeup in the dirt. So, you know, you could bet the farm right here. Here comes his number 1. They've made a call down the Cardinal bullpen. They're down there doing a little stretching and Pilates right now.
Comes the payoff. In the air, but foul. Wow, was that hit a ton.
That is the subtle difference between being ready for a fastball and too ready for a fastball.
Do the 3-2 again.
Well, the Reds have put some pretty good and long at bats on Weaver here in the first inning.
Ty Webb warming up. And he walks Schebler. 3rd walk of the inning. And some groans from the St. Louis crowd. Bases loaded. Mason Williams coming to the dish. Righty-lefty matchup. 2 at-bats for Williams in this series, both pinch hits, 1 for 2. Last 11 appearances, a .391 batter. Big situation for him right here. 2 in the inning, and the Reds hoping for more. And another ball that Molina has to block.
Yeah, second time now that with runners in scoring position, left-handed hitter up. Molina is figuring all the Reds hitters like Schebler and Mason Williams are looking for fastball first pitch. So he's had Weaver throw that breaking ball, but unfortunately for Weaver, he just doesn't have the feel of that pitch right now. Williams ought to be hunting a fastball here in this at bat.
Ground ball. Trouble. And Weaver gets out of the first. The Reds do get 2 and lead 2-0. victory here today. And here's how I'll line them up. Matt Carpenter back in the leadoff spot. Molina in the 2 spot. Martinez, Ozuna, DeYoung, 3, 4, 5. Patrick Wisdom, the start at third base. Harrison Bader in center. Greg Garcia, the lefty. And the 8th spot, Luke Weaver. Batting 9th. On the mound, Anthony DeSclafani.
The perfect guy for the Reds to give the ball to, and here on this rubber game, the best of 3 is what they're trying to grab from the Cardinals. Throwing the ball extremely well in the month of August. Hitting his spots, changing speeds. Keeping it really simple, DeSclafani. I mean, he basically is almost 50-50 sharing his 4-seam fastball and his 2-seamer. He likes to sink the 2-seamer. Main off-speed pitch is that slider.
It's a tough guy to handle to start the game. Matt Carpenter leading the National League in home runs, but his matchups versus DeSclafani in his career, a .474 hitter versus DeSclafani.
You know, I think what you really want to do with Carpenter is basically keep the ball down. He's a guy that if you keep the ball down, he's going to pull the ball. And if you keep it down low enough, he's going to hit ground balls without pull. In fact, in the last 14 days, Matt Carpenter has pulled every low pitch that he's put into play. 10 for 10.
Scafani needs a strike, and trying to bluff him was Carpenter, but counts 3-1. Those numbers we talked about, and the 5-pitch walk to Carpenter. Here's your Ford defensive lineup for the Reds. Mason Williams in left field today. Hamilton patrolling center field, Shepler in right. Suarez, Peraza, Jeanette, and Votto. And Kurt Casale behind the plate. And now Yadier Molina. And Casale's going to go out and talk to DeSclafani.
Yeah, he looks a little out of whack here already, DeSclafani does, for a guy who basically has been able to throw darts up there his last few starts, meaning he's able to really pinpoint his spot in the strike zone, mix it up a little bit. He just has been down, and not only down, but down in the dirt with most of his pitches here to start.
It was a terrific month of August, although his last 2 starts, some bumps in the road.
Well, that is his slider, and that's been his main pitch. In fact, he threw it almost 40 times his last time out when he pitched against the Milwaukee Brewers. Both these pitchers having a hard time getting the feel of the breaking ball to get it going here.
Hitters count at 2-0. And he gets a strike on the inside corner. Into right field, a base hit. First and second, nobody out.
Well, DeSclafani staying stubborn with his stuff, which is a good thing, but he elevated the slider right there, and that's right in the wheelhouse of Yadier Molina. I mean, you look back in your memory, and that is basically Yadier Molina. Base hit to right field. Base hit to right field. Guy's an Iron Man.
Now Jose Martinez. Big swing and a miss. Martinez checks in at .311. 3rd in the National League in hitting. 16 home runs, 77 RBIs.
Well, he was really just befuddled last night between Luis Castillo and Raisel Iglesias. Just did not sniff very much at all.
After falling behind the first 2 batters, DeSclafani ahead of Martinez, no balls and 2 strikes. One and 2. Almost hit him. From 0-2 to 2-2. Swing and a miss. Big out for DeSclafani.
Well, he goes after a very good breaking ball hitter with a very good breaking ball. That pitch starting at the bottom of the strike zone, breaking down out of the zone, the typical DeSclafani slider, which basically goes straight down. It's a wicked pitch, and you can see why he uses it so much.
And now Marcell Ozuna, 275 batter on the season. Ozuna 364 batter off of DeSclafani, 4 for 11. DeSclafani shakes off Casale now. He has what he wants. Down and in. Long look in. Both runners going, and that'll keep the Cardinals out of the double play. Two outs.
One of the trademarks really of Mike Shildt since taking over is that he's had this Cardinal team a little bit more aggressive on the base paths. We saw them steal a base last night, kind of a sneak attack by Matt Carpenter. Today they put the runners in motion right there, basically to see if they can't steal a run, but also to stay out of that double play, and that was DP lane all the way.
Particularly with Molina, the runner at first base. Ozuna can run a little bit. Still a big out to get. The 0-1.
For me, Paul DeYoung is a very typical bad ball hitter. I mean, not bad ball hitter, a cripple hitter is what they call him. I mean, a guy, if you throw a pitch right down the middle, he's the one that really gets all over it. But he can be pitched to.
Raza in the dirt, picked by Votto. And DeSclafani works himself out of trouble. Through one, 2-0 Reds. Icons and features such as MLB.TV Game of the Day, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, and more. Plus, now you can stream Reds games with the Fox Sports Go app, and you can do it through the MLB at Bat app. Check it out. Reds got 2 off of Luke Weaver in inning number 1, and they made him throw 40 pitches. As the Reds sent 7 to the plate. Weaver was able to induce a 6-4-3 double play with the bases loaded to limit the damage to 2. Casale, DeSclafani, Hamilton here in the second against the righty Luke Weaver. .6'2", 180 Luke Weaver, Florida guy. We talked about that, the drafts of the Cardinals. He was a first-round selection, 27th overall, 2014.
Yeah, he was the first of the 4 pitchers that the Cardinals took in that 2014 draft. He was raised in DeLand, Florida, which is a home of Stetson University, but he ended up going up to Tallahassee to do his schooling at Florida State.
There's a ball ripped into left center field, and Casale is going for second base. He's going to have to hurry. The throw, not in time. Greg Garcia had to go out and then reach way back. And at least the initial call from John Lipka is safe.
You know, as an umpire, you want to make sure you get in the best possible spot to make the call, because this was going to be very close. It looked like if the throw is right on the money, you're going to have Casale. But because it was a little bit short, you know, the question is, was he able to get the tag on him in time? And that is John Lipka right on it. And you can see the tag was low, got him on the right leg instead of the left leg. The Reds get a leadoff double. Second time, second inning in a row that has happened.
8th double of the season for Curt Casale.
Sets up perfectly here for DeSclafani to move him over to third base.
Seen Curt Casale hit a lot of balls in the gap when he's got his playing time. Came in as a .311 batter and bettered that here.
wheel play on right there. They are really trying to snuff out that run at third base. They figure Casale's not a very fast runner, so they're going to force DeSclafani to have a really good bunt. But if he had bunted at all that time, I mean, they would have had the man at third base. The shortstop had already come over to third to cover. The third baseman charging hard. The first baseman charging. Cardinals playing very aggressive here on defense.
And Billy Hatcher saw that. He didn't see it on screen, but he came clear down halfway down the line and spoke into DeSclafani's ear. Talk about this situation. Here they come again, and it's a Butcher Boy. And this will get the runner to third base.
Nicely done.
As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in today's game. High five for DeSclafani as he gets the job done, and 90 feet away would be run number 3 with Billy Hamilton at the plate. Infield playing in again for the Cardinals. And third baseman Wisdom again trying to hold the runner on third base, although not as tightly as they did on Hamilton in inning number 1. Two and 0 to Billy. Hamilton doubled the lead off the game, scored. Molina sets up outside, and Hamilton looks at a strike right down the middle. Way outside is Molina this time, and it's up and away. 3 balls and a strike. Billy shows bunt and looks at ball 4.
That puts a little different spin on things here for the Cardinals from a defensive standpoint. You can't bring the infield in the way you had it before, not with a runner at first base that can steal. So they're going to go back in a double play depth. And I hope they can get Jose Peraza reduced into a ground ball double play. Something we showed you earlier in the game that Luke Weaver does not throw too many of those.
That is the 4th walk given up by Weaver in just an inning and a third. One of those walks in the first, Votto did score. First pitch swinging and popped it up. Molina with room. Second out. And a big one. Check out today's IGS Bringing the Energy. And it focuses on Joey Votto. Active players versus St. Louis. First in hits. First in home runs. First in doubles. First in RBIs. Those hits, he is tied with Ryan Braun, but likes himself some Cardinals as the opponent. 1-0 pitch. Inside. And just inside at that. Big cut. Two balls and a strike to Votto. First and third, 2 outs. Reds trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Try not to waste a leadoff double by Casale. And he walks Votto for the second time in this game.
And oddly, whoever was up and throwing in the bullpen, I think it was Ty Webb last inning, is not up and throwing right now. So the Cardinals have no backup plan going out in right field, at least at this point. That might change. It looks like the phone's ringing down there. And call to Pilates.
A big situation here for Scooter. And he delivered in inning number 1. It was an RBI single that brought in Hamilton to kick off the scoring for the Reds. Weaver now with 5 walks.
Yeah, you know, he's just on the verge of dancing around all that trouble and getting out of the inning, or having it completely implode around him.
Sliced into left field. Going back is Ozuna. He has room. And the Reds strand 3.
Center on Anthony DeSclafani. He's had great success against the Cardinals in his career, 5-2 with a 3.3 earned run average, as you see. But when you play a team so much, I ask you, do you have to maybe change your game plan because they've got a book on you just as you have on them?
You just got to mix and match, try and read their swings and, you know, kind of pitch to certain situations and, you know, keep the ball in the middle of the plate, get ahead of guys. You know, it's all cliche stuff, but you know, it's things that maybe in the middle of the game that, you know, are tough to do when you're in certain situations.
And you know, Jimmy, Chris, we see these guys so many times in a season. As I said, they kind of have a book on you as you have on them. So he said, hey, I just got to make my pitches and make them count.
So far mixing and matching, and he's trying to rebound because the last time he faced him was middle of July, and it was here in St. Louis. It was only 3 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs. Was able to dance around trouble in the first. Looked very uncomfortable starting the game. Walked Carpenter, gave up a hard hit ball to Molina. Retired the next 3.
Looks like DeSclafani's arm slot on that slider is just a hair low than what it normally is. Normally when he's got that slider going, his arm's a little bit higher and that ball goes straight down. We're seeing it go a little bit more side to side here today. A lot of times that'll take it, what looks like a really good pitch out of your hand, take it right out of the strike zone like it did right there.
Full count to Patrick Wisdom. And another leadoff walk. Both innings he's walked the leadoff batter.
You have the other pitcher on the road. You end up grounding in with ground balls up and playing the first inning with the bases loaded. Last inning you leave 3 on base. So if you're Jim Riggleman, I mean, you're thinking, man, oh man, this could be a blowout game already. But instead, it's 2-0, and my starter is kind of creating some problems too. Just when you think it's going to get easy, you realize it never does.
Harrison Bader, 274 batter, 10 home runs, 28 RBIs. There goes the runner from first base. Throw down to second, a good one, and got him. Laser beam from Casale. And he also had to catch that ball through. Bader showing bunt.
I'm really surprised that that was going to be just a straight steal right there. I mean, Wisdom runs okay, but he's no burner out there. They didn't think Casale could deliver the goods down there, but he certainly put it on the money. I wonder if that was a cross-up maybe on the part of the batter Bader. Maybe he missed a sign.
DeSclafani just doesn't look comfortable at all yet.
You know, when you're pitching, though, you're only a couple of good pitches and maybe some good breaks away from kind of getting it all back together. You know, sometimes it takes you throwing a pitch right down the middle and the guy pops it up. Maybe it's a little adjustment that you make. You just find a good release point like you did there to get a strikeout. I've always thought that a good way to evaluate pitchers, I know that there are a million formulas nowadays, but one good way to evaluate a starter in my mind, if he takes 30 starts at the end of the year, you take the best 5 starts and you throw them out the window, and you take the worst 5 starts and you throw them out the window. Tell me what you do in the 20 that are remaining, because those are the games where you really have to battle. Those are the games where you don't have your great stuff and you don't have bad luck where you're getting blown out in the second inning. And I think if you did that amongst all the great pitchers, you'd find the really great pitchers, according to earned run average and whip and everything else, would be at the top of that list as well. Because sometimes you just can't help a clunker, and we showed you what he did his last time out against the Cardinals was definitely a clunker.
Yep. Greg Garcia continues his success against DeSclafani. Now 6 for 13.
Well, Garcia's a smart hitter, and he takes what the pitcher will give you. Yeah, I never get the feeling that Greg Garcia is sitting back trying to hit a ball into the second deck. He stays back long enough to take a breaking ball and just kind of drop it into left field. Underrated player.
Now pitcher v. pitcher. Weaver does have 2 RBIs on the season. Votto will take it himself. DeSclafani strands 2 in the first, 1 in the second.
Game highlights, hear from players before and after games, and catch funny moments on and off the field. Follow along at Fox Sports OH. And this statement's history is brought to you by Geico. Let's go back 2 seasons. Eugenio Suarez recorded his first career walk-off RBI against the St. Louis Cardinals after loading the bases for the 3rd straight inning. Suarez came through with the ground out up the middle for the win, which snapped the Reds' 4-game losing streak back on September 2nd of 2016. Guys.
And many RBIs later, he will lead off here, sitting at 98 on the season. And he will face Luke Weaver. Weaver has an interesting way to get to the mound. A lot of guys are very superstitious about not touching the line. He goes completely over the dirt and clicks his heels. And it's all because of superstition. It began at Florida State, and he avoids bad luck, he says, by doing it.
Well, he was a 3-year player at Florida State, actually kind of a young guy when he was drafted at age 20 after his junior year. And if you look at the numbers that he posted his junior year at Florida State, you know, you're thinking, well, what did the Cardinals see in him that would make him a #1 draft pick, 27th pick overall? He was 8-4 that year, had a 2.6 earned run average, which, you know, among college is pretty good. But he didn't even strike out a batter an inning. In fact, he only struck out 7 batters per 9 innings, and for a #1 pick, that's almost unheard of. somewhere along the line they saw something. Of course, he progressed very quickly. He had a breakout year last year when he was 10-2 down in Memphis for their AAA, and got called up and then added another 7 wins to that. So all combined last year, Weaver went 17-4. Started out the season very well this year. He and Carlos Martinez were the mainstays of the rotation for the first couple of months, and Martinez and Weaver both had some trouble from then on.
Full count to Suarez. Got him. First strikeout for Weaver.
Well, the go-to pitch for Weaver is that high fastball. Has a little extra giddy up on it, nice backspin if you want to call it that, and just kind of sneaky fast. I mean, he's not dialing it up, you know, 96, 97 miles an hour like we saw Castillo yet last night. But he's got good carry on that fastball.
Now tangle with Schebler. What is it about the baselines and you pitchers?
No, I don't know.
Most pitchers will not step on it.
Well, you know, you trip one time and then from then on you try to avoid them.
Ooh, that hit him. And I think it ricocheted and hit Molina as well. Or the umpire.
Schebler get hit there right on the elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, before he hurt his shoulder by running into the wall. In fact, I believe he hurt his shoulder running into the wall right here at Busch Stadium. I'm surprised ever since he got hit on the elbow, and it put him out for a while because he had kind of a stinger effect, I think,
right,
that he's still not wearing one of those elbow pads.
Well, he said he was going to wear one. He tried in BP, etc., wearing one, and he said he was going to go to it because he didn't want it to happen again, but apparently he was never comfortable with it.
To that I would say, well, why not when you get up in the morning wear it all day long, everything you do? And at some point you'll miss not having it rather than the other way around.
That would really affect your golf game, wouldn't it? we wouldn't want to do that.
Well, didn't they do that with Walter Payton? Didn't Walter Payton have a problem fumbling early in his
many
career?
football coaches that have done that.
And they hand him the football and you say, you carry it around all day long, including in the shower.
Yes.
And don't drop it. I mean, isn't it the same theory?
Or they'd wet those footballs up during practice and make them carry a wet football around. You can hold on to a wet football, you can hold on to a dry one. Cardinals 76-60 on the season. And the game that they gained on the Cubs Friday night here, they lost last night. They did stay in check with Milwaukee because last night Washington came back to beat Milwaukee. Down goes Williams. Strikeouts in the inning for Luke Weaver. Cardinals 4.5 games back in the Central and a game and a half clear in the wild card. Right now Washington leading Milwaukee 4-2, bottom of the fourth. Following that race between Yelich and Jeanette for the batting lead. Yelich 0 for 2 so far. His average sitting at 316. Cubs leading the Phillies 2-0, top of the 5th. Murphy and Rizzo have both gone yard. "70 pitches now for Luke Weaver. Sally pulls one again. Wisdom pulls him out of trouble. That's him stranded a runner at least in every inning. Former Red Aaron Boone, now the skipper of the Yankees. Well, they announced he was suspended today. Friday night, just a little bit animated. Look at Booney go. And the tip of the cap touches the umpire, and the umpire says, yeah, I felt that, but this is the best part. Demonstrating his angst. Booney. Glue guy.
So he gets a day off for that, right?
Yes. Today, in fact.
As it must have worked, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Yankees went on to hit at least 2 home runs during the rest of the ballgame and came back and won that game. So I'm not sure how that actually worked when the manager gets thrown out of a game and to get his players fired up. But, I mean, you have anecdotal evidence that it is successful.
Well, you don't see it as much anymore. I mean, back in the day, managers would do it on purpose, and umpires would pick up on it. My favorite was that, you know, a manager was like basically telling him, listen, throw me out. I'm not leaving here until you throw me out, because I want to fire up my team. The umpire there was Nick Lentz. But replay's taken away a lot of arguments. That's one of my favorite things, though, when you give a demonstration to the umpire. Boone's answer after the game was that he was not quite stretched out fully, and he was just squatting to stretch. So Booney will miss today's game against the Tigers. DeSclafani walked Carpenter in the first. He's a ball away from doing it again.
Yeah, really battling himself right now about trying to find that slider of his. The old saying among pitching coaches is stay stubborn with it.
Carpenter this time.
And what that means is that if you've got a pitch that's not working, you know, don't just stick it in your back pocket and say, well, it's not working for me today, I'm going to have to use something else. You know, you keep throwing it. You keep trying to figure it out. You try to get to a point in your delivery that is back in your key and get you back locked in again. In the meantime, you know, you've got the challenge of getting hitters out.
And now Yadier Molina, who singled his first at-bat today, and 2 Boone mentions in 1 inning. That last at-bat, that single, tied Bob Boone for 13th on the all-time list amongst catchers with 1,838 career hits.
How about one more Boone mention? It was right here in St. Louis where Aaron Boone has made his major league debut.
Yeah.
And when he scored his first ever run as a Red, or he tried to anyway, he was thrown out the plate.
Towering fly ball that Mason Williams was.
And he was so emotionally charged. When he was thrown out the plate, he jumped up and he slammed his helmet down right at his feet and was immediately ejected from the game.
Wow.
I may have to look that up, see when that was, but I'm sure way back in the archives, Booney would be happy that we mentioned that on his day off.
Well, it's 2 ejections that we mentioned in 1/2 inning. First one being better of the 2. One ball and 2 strikes to Jose Martinez. DeSclafani got Martinez swinging in the first, trying to do so here in the third. One, 2 again. 2-2. Another full count. Tell by the body language of DeSclafani, even though he is healthy. Cardinals scoreless so far, that whether he's fighting with his release point, whatever he's fighting, he's fighting.
Yeah, but these are the games really that are the most satisfying. When you look, if you can survive them, number one. But when you look back on them, you think, you know what? I had diddly out there, and I was able to do my job today.
Three-two again. Here it comes. Got him to chase. 3 up, 3 down for the Cardinals in the third. home of Free Pie Wednesdays. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. And by Cincinnati Children's, now ranked number 2 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. 3 in the books from hot and sticky St. Louis. 2-0 Reds.
Hey, Jim, last time that Anthony DeSclafani was up, and he's leading the inning off here, he did a little butcher boy play, which is you fake a bunt, you pull the bat back, and he hit a little ground ball, and he advanced a runner from second to third. And out on Twitter, a lot of people are asking us, both of us, on our respective handles, you know, what is a butcher boy and where did it come from? And from what I can tell, I've always understood that the story behind it is really started with Casey Stengel, who coined, you know, so many phrases over the years. And he taught his players when they had a runner at third base, you know, take a quick chop of the ball to try to get the runner in. And his creation was inspired by a motion that he saw of a boy in a butcher shop. The same motion that he would use to cleave meat. So he said, when I got a runner at third base in a close game, I'd urge all my players to give it the butcher boy and get him home.
And there you go.
Which now brings me to the different part of this discussion that I know you would appreciate, that baseball has so many terms that are related to food, if you think about it.
Oh, thank you. Drop the food reference on me that I would appreciate. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, you know, we've gone through the butchery. You got the can of corn, you know, a cup of coffee, short time in the big leagues, the meatball, you know, right down the middle, a pea. You know, a ribeye, which is, you know, a slang for RBI or ribby. And one that I specialized in was giving up the tater.
The tater. See you later, it's a tater. The can of corn comes from the old days of where the cans are on the shelf, right? Like the old general store, and they would take a stick and they would knock the can off and catch it easily, and it became easy catch like a can of corn. How about he delivers a seed? I guess that's not actually food. Food comes from seed. Wow, now you're going to have me thinking.
Yeah, you know.
Food references.
Well, if I disappear for a few innings, you know, I'll be down at the buffet.
Bucky cooking again here today?
Hey, we have to thank our crew here. We've got a great crew here in St. Louis. I mean, the camera guys, the tech people, everybody do such a great job. And we really enjoy coming to St. Louis every year to work with you guys. Thank you very much.
Treat us well in the booth. Good barbecue the other day.
Well, I'm not sure what has happened all of a sudden to Luke Weaver. Maybe he didn't get enough warm-up pitches out there in the bullpen. He needed to get up around 70 pitches before he found that breaking ball release point, but he had it working right there. After consecutive times on base for Billy Hamilton, he strikes out, so back-to-back punch-outs here in the fourth.
He struck out 4 of the last 6 batters. And now goes to work on Jose Peraza.
I'll tell you, for a guy that was just on the ropes, I mean, really staggering the first couple of innings. To him to hold the Reds now to just a 2-run deficit is pretty remarkable.
Well, if the Reds somehow fail in this game, they'll certainly look back to innings 1 and 2, despite scoring 2 in the first. An inning-ending double play with the bases loaded. They stranded the bases loaded in the second. Coming in Bader, and he'll get it. 1-2-3 inning for Luke Weaver. League Baseball. Cheat sheets got me through college.
And it was Joe West that was involved. He was umping third base, and there's the Phillies game, and he comes right in, and he says, well, let me see that, young man. And at first, the pitcher thought that he wanted to take a look at his glove. He says, no, that little cheat sheet is, in Joe West's mind, a foreign substance.
Right.
And if you want to look it up, you can, but it is basically Rule 6.02C7 that Joe West cited on him and said that a pitcher is not allowed to have on his person or in possession any foreign substance. So the question is that, you know, really the intent of the rule? And Major League Baseball came out today and said, no, we're going to allow cheat sheets.
So was it Austin Davis was the pitcher as Marcell Ozuna is hit by the first pitch, and he will take first base. Ozuna none too pleased.
Well, not that it hit him, it's just that where the pitch was, and all he's got to do is sit back and watch his game and realize DeSclafani's, you know, nowhere near has the command that he normally does. So,
you think we're going to see more cheat sheets from pitchers?
Yeah, I do.
As the scouting reports really get in depth and the sabermetrics have taken it to a new level. Scooter Jeanette went 1.5 miles and nearly got to that ball.
Now he needs a rest. I mean, a long, 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 long way.
Ooh, I need a break. Through the box, and trouble brewing here. First and second, nobody out.
Pretty good hitting right there by DeYoung. I mean, he stayed right back on it, and it was a good pitcher's pitch by DeSclafani that ended up with a bad result.
And that'll bring up Patrick Wisdom. DeSclafani's all over the map here. Popped him up. Lotto fighting the sun. Foul ground, out number 1.
That was the old infield fly if fair call.
And now Harrison Bader. DeSclafani got Bader to strike out swinging his first time up.
You know, what the lineup that DeSclafani is seeing today, it tells me that this is why the Cardinals are going to have a very hard run. Hard way to go here down the line. Really starting with Molina, Martinez, Ozuna, DeYoung, Wisdom, and Bader, all basically the same type of hitter. Where the scouting report is probably very similar on all of them. The one guy that might be different would be Jose Martinez. But every one of these other right-handers, if you're a right-handed pitcher, you show them in, you break them ball away. The age-old way of pitching hitters. And if you can make pitches, you're going to get them out. There just aren't enough left-handers with thump in this lineup to give me any confidence that this team can anywhere come close to what they did in the month of August. Their bullpen is okay. Their starting pitching, especially their young starting pitching, is excellent. And over the years, it will get better and better.
The only team they would seemingly perhaps match up against, and it's a tough matchup, no matter if righty or lefty, would be the Cubs rotation. Well, they have 3 lefties in their rotation right now, do they not? That's a fair ball. Ozuna will score. They're going to wave around. Look, Oquendo initially was going to wave around the second runner at third base, but decided against it. But the Cardinals are on the board. It's a 2-1 game.
It looked to me like it was almost obstruction on the part of Suarez right there. As that backup runner, Paul DeYoung, comes around third base. You know, I don't know whether he missed the base but Suarez kind of got in his way right here. And it was the second one. Yeah, right there. Suarez kind of cut in front of the bag, and it almost looked like DeYoung missed the bag because of that. So he gets held at third base, and that was one of those mistake pitches. I'm talking about how easy it is to pitch Bader, but you can't pitch him for strikes on the inner part of the plate. Short arms, quick bat, got the barrel on it.
Now second and third, 1 out. Reds do have action in their bullpen. Lefty Wandy Peralta warming up. Yeah, this will play the run. Got him off guard.
You know, the guy is just a good player. He's a gamer. He understands what is on the line here. He understands the odds of him being able to lay a bunt down versus trying to punch a ball through to get the run in. He's a Scooter Gennett kind of player in my mind. Garcia is. Now the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
And this is Tyler O'Neill.
Another guy. Be careful about pitching him on the inner part of the plate.
So that'll spell the end of the day for Luke Weaver. Webb warming up. Reds have now added Lucas Sims, righty, warming up. It would be his Reds debut. AAA and the bigs, O'Neill 33 home runs. He had 26 home runs for AAA Memphis, 7 in a Cardinals uniform. Two balls and 2 strikes. Got him. Fourth punch out for DeSclafani. And here comes Jim Riggleman. With the lefty Carpenter coming up, he has made the call to the bullpen. That's going to be it for Anthony DeSclafani. Only a 2-2 game, 2 outs. In the bottom of the fourth, he will give the ball up. It's a Skyline Chili call to the bullpen as Wandy Peralta will come into this game. Two outs, and Wandy Peralta will try to keep it right there.
I got to figure that DeSclafani's thinking, man, I saw a quick hook last night with Luis Castillo. I'm seeing even a quicker hook today. Gave up a couple of runs in this inning. Even though it was a struggle for DeSclafani, he's probably figuring that he had a little bit left in the tank. Anyway, Bergerman goes with the odds right here. At least the percentage is left on left and brings in Peralta.
And a tough task. Top of the order in the form of Matt Carpenter at the plate. Reds got 2 in the first. The Cardinals have answered with 2 here in the fourth. Carpenter 1 for 4 in his career matchups versus Peralta. And a first pitch strike. Check swing, appeal, down to third. Yes, says Jerry Meals. And a stare down. Good call.
Pretty good pitch. I thought it was a call strike. If you want a second opinion.
Foul.
Boy, hung that breaking ball right in there. Got away with one, did Wandy.
Runner going from first, and Not even a throw.
Actually trying to draw the throw is what he was doing. You got Bader on third base. He's by far the fastest Cardinal. And Garcia kind of shuffle stepped down there, hoping that he would get somebody's attention that he was actually trying to steal second.
Reds didn't budge. But now 2 in scoring position. A huge at bat in this game. Fair ball, and Votto will get to the bag, and Peralta comes in and gets the job done. We're tied at 2 through 4 here in St. Louis. Your Reds take on the Dodgers Wednesday, September 12th at half price. He said half price. Well, she'll get same-day admission to the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum. For tickets, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. Some restrictions apply. Well, we start anew under the arch here in St. Louis. 2-2 game. Rubber game of a 3-game set. And new pitcher on for the Cardinals, it's Ty Webb, lefty, taking over for Luke Weaver. As Weaver goes 4 innings, 3 hits, those 2 runs. He walked 5 and danced around those nicely, struck out 4. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez for the Reds. Ozuna, they go back at the last minute, gloves it for out number 1.
Well, knowing your affinity for Caddyshack, Jim, I would imagine Ty Webb is just automatically now your favorite pitcher.
He's one of my favorite guys, Danny.
Remember, Danny, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left.
There's so many lines. Listen, you can give me, what do they list the great movies of all time? Gone with the Wind, you know, just go down the line. Sure. Trumped all by Caddyshack, the greatest movie ever made. I rest my case. Unless you would like to chime in. Your Honor, Your Honor.
That was pretty good too. Well, we like to laugh, so I think that is important.
Grounded through the hole and into right field for a base hit.
Boy, he just gets his hits, doesn't he?
He sure does. 2 for 3 here today.
You know, for a while there, everybody out there was really putting a big shift on Jeanette, and then that shift began to change just a little bit. Maybe not shifting enough because he started hitting the ball the other way in that shortstop spot. Just goes to show you that if you have a little bat control, you can beat the shift, and then eventually they'll take it away from you.
Now that we're into the month of September, and you're talking about a guy that could win the batting title, leading the league now, boy, that would be something for Scooter Gennett. I mean, the last Red to do it was Pete Rose in 1973. Wow. He did it 3 times, 73, 69, 68. Before that, you got to go way back to 1938, Ernie Lombardi. That's tough luck baseball right there, but Gennett gets back. Barreled it up, but right at the defender. And Scooter battling with Christian Yelich, that lead in the National League in hitting, and checking in on the Brewers. They now lead Washington 9-4. Christian Yelich, 1 for 3, grand slam. Cubs 4-0 over the Phillies, bottom of the 6th. 3 solo home runs in that one. Murphy, Rizzo, we told you about earlier. Now Javier Baez in on the act. RBI number 100 for Baez. What a season it's been for Baez. Not only 100 RBIs, but he has joined Ryan Sandberg, Ernie Banks, and Rogers Hornsby as the only Cubs middle infielder to hit 30 home runs in a season. How about that company? Sandberg, Banks, Hornsby. Oh-2. Two runs, 4 hits, no errors for Cincinnati. 2-5-0 for the Cardinals. The Reds have stranded 6 in this one. As we said earlier, if they fall short in this game, they had their opportunities in innings 1 and 2. And when you look what Luke Weaver did, he walked 5 batters and hit a batter, only 1 of which scored. Schebler stays alive. Check swing, and he lays off. Two-two pitch. Let's strand another. Middle of the fifth, 2-2 game.
Reds.
Well, you know it's a big league game when Gapper's in the house. Celebrating Fred Bird's birthday. Fred Bird, the mascot of the Cardinals right there. And better Jeff Pecoro than me. Yeah, straighten him up. That collar, not yet. Making sure he's okay. Nothing like being a mascot. 90 degrees. Yummy. We have a Reds debut here. It's Lucas Sims. He's one of the players that came over in the Adam Duvall trade from the Braves. And you could say he was the centerpiece of that trade.
Well, he's had very little major league experience so far. He's only 24 years old. He was up last year a little bit with the Braves, pitched in 14 games. 57 innings overall. This year he was in 6 games. In fact, one of those games was against the Reds earlier this year when the Reds went down to Atlanta. You saw Whistler and Sims in that particular 3-game set. He was a starter in their AAA Gwinnett this year, and he really had a very good year. His win-loss record is only 4-3, but very low earned run average, around 2.8. Struck out more than one batter per inning. And you know, he's got a nice fastball, but that curveball that he has is really his go-to pitch.
Former first-round pick back in 2012, 21st overall.
Yeah, that made him a pretty good bonus baby.
Yeah. Georgia kid, grew up a Braves fan. Tough for him to leave, but says he's excited about being a Red because of the opportunity that lies ahead of him. He would like to be a starter looking out of the bullpen here, and you might see him start some games in September.
Would not be surprised. I'm sure the Reds didn't bring him up here to have him work out a bullpen. And, you know, a guy that projects long-term in the rotation, let's give him a few starts. Let him prepare. Let's see how it works out.
First batter works out. It's a fly out to right. Low load of pitchers have gone to the mound this year for the Reds. He is the 32nd pitcher used this season, and that ties the team record, which was set in 2016.
I think they were only 1 or 2 off the record last year.
Yeah.
They've had the help wanted sign hanging out for a few years.
Sims gets that ball, and he is ready to go.
Has a little hesitation at the very top of his delivery. Watch how he kind of gets his left leg up and holds it there. And then when he goes to the plate, he really uses his legs very well. Nice.
Blew away Jose Martinez.
3 strikeouts now for Martinez. First 2 he went down on DeSclafani sliders, and this time Sims blows the fastball by him. There's a little hesitation there, and then he fires off with that right foot.
Two outs, and Marcell Ozuna at the plate. And this ball is ripped to left. Foul ball. Just a long strike. This previous message brought to you by the Major League Baseball Pitchers Association. 0-1. In on the hands, tied him up. Mid-90s with that fastball. Just off the plate. 2-2. Suarez backs up and gets the pop. And a nice play by Eugenio Suarez. A 3-up, 3-down inning in the Reds' debut of Lucas Sims. for the best morning sports show on TV. Weekday mornings at 6:30 Eastern on FS1. Let's check out some news and notes on Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani is going to return to the rotation tonight against the Astros. 4-1 record, 9 starts. Chris Davis, first MLB player with 40 home runs and 100 RBIs in 3 straight seasons since Ryan Howard did it, 06 to 09. And Yankees GM says former Red Aroldis Chapman may not return this season. And that would be a big blow, although they got a pretty good bullpen outside of Chapman.
Yeah, they really do. That problematic knee that he's had some issues with all year long, just not responding.
Foul ball. Mason Williams 0 for 2 here today. Grounded into a double play in inning number 1. Struck out swinging his last time up. Ty Webb still on the hill for the Cardinals. Dominic Leone. Righty cranking it up in the Cardinals pen. Just joining us, Reds got their 2 runs in the first. They sent 7 men to the plate. Double Hamilton, walk Votto, RBI single Jeanette. And then Votto scored on a wild pitch by Luke Weaver. Weaver walked 3 in that inning, but the Reds couldn't blow open the game. Guy at the plate, Mason Williams, as I said, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Had him played perfectly. 1 out. And with the right-hander Kurt Casale coming up, Mike Schilt out of the dugout, and he will make a call to the bullpen. The aforementioned Dominic Leone will come in to face Casale. 1 out here into the top of the 6th. Tie ball game here in St. Louis. Leone.
Well, Leone's got a good slider, and he's not afraid to throw it, and he's able to throw it for strikes.
First pitches. way outside. Casale 1 for 2 here today. Doubled his first time up. Pitch. Three converging, and it's Martinez. Now number 2. And Lucas Sims is going to hit. Sims bats him as he throws him. 16 plate appearances in his big league career, 1 for 16. So he's got that bugaboo out of the way. Big cut. Piece. Two and two. Stance, crouch for Sims. Lays off from the count full. Holds on as he retired in the 6th, still tied at 2.
faces, and you know, hopefully start to build some relationships, and you know, hopefully help this ball team or ball club win some games.
Well, in his career, guys, I think you've mentioned this, he's been used mostly in the minors and with Atlanta as a starting pitcher. He'll be used out of the bullpen for now with the Reds, but he says he hopes to get a chance to start before the season ends, and he says it's a big boost to next spring so they can see what he has here, and hopefully he can carry that over into spring and vie for a spot in the Reds rotation next season.
Well, he's back on the bump for the Reds here, trying to keep the game at 2-2. He'll get DeYoung, Wisdom, Bader here in the home half of the 6th. And he's quickly ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Reds trying to keep the Cardinals from their 11th straight series win. And it would be a new franchise record for the Cardinals. Got him.
Boy, he is just making quick work right of the middle of the lineup. 2, 3, and 4 last inning. DeYoung, who has a base hit to drive a run in, or to get on base and come around to score, chases a pitch way out of the zone right there. Completely misread. Young man looks mighty impressive.
You know, if you're the Reds, why wouldn't you give him a start in September?
I think they will. It's funny how, you know, if you go back to spring training, remember how many pitchers the Reds had, and they were, the biggest worry was, well, we don't have enough space for all these pitchers.
Well, how times have changed.
Yeah.
Guys on the DL, guys that have faltered. Brandon Finnegan's fall from grace. I mean, he's not even going to be a September call-up, barring anything unforeseen. Garrett went into the bullpen. Bono's in the pen right now. Interesting offseason as well. Their search for starting pitching.
Well, that'll be the challenge for the Reds at the big league level, but I think the challenge for the Reds goes way deeper than that. When they have had the reshuffle in the baseball operations department that they've had this year, from the beginning of the year, including changing manager, pitching coach, general manager, farm director, scouting director, international scouting director. I think there's a real effort to kind of rewrite the book for the Reds this year and kind of, you know, maybe get them on a little better rail.
Check swing and brings him up, does Ed Hickox. Back-to-back punch-outs for Lucas Sims. 3 of them in 5 batters.
Good sharp breaking ball that he throws right here. Not one with a real big, you know, loop in it right there. 81 miles an hour. That qualifies as either a really hard curveball or on the slower end of a slider. You call it a slurve.
Bader right there.
You know, we were talking about baseball terms that are also food terms. You know, we got Hal McCoy all excited. In the
Oh,
man cave.
yes.
He's probably
in the man cave.
He's probably just cleaning the shelves out in that kitchen. You know, he's a hot dog, served him a cookie. Slide gave him a strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
Snow cone catch.
Grass cutter, Peraza up and firing against the speedy Bader. And another 1, 2, 3 inning turned in by Lucas Sims. in the first. Hamilton double, Votto walk, and Scooter Gennett brings in Hamilton. Wild pitch by Weaver allowed Votto to score, but with the bases loaded, 6-4-3 double play. And the story for the Reds is the men left on base in innings 1 and 2. Scooter Gennett flies out to left field. Reds stranded 3 in the second. Cardinals got their 2 runs in the fourth. Harrison Bader, RBI double. And then Greg Garcia taking advantage of the situation. A beautiful bunt that plated Paul DeYoung. DeSclafani goes 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and that's where we stand. 3 innings to play. 2-2 game, rubber game of 3. Top of the order for the Reds, and they will face a new pitcher, right-hander Carlos Martinez.
Well, not really new to them. He's been around a while. 53 wins, 38 losses. This is game number 195 in his major league career, and by far more starting games than out of the bullpen. Has not started a game since July. Martinez, 2-time All-Star. Was in the All-Star game last year when he pitched over 200 innings for the Cardinals last year. First time that he has done that in his big league career. So that's what he's done since coming back off the DL. Had a little tenderness in his right shoulder.
Hamilton through the hole and into right field. Here we go. Billy, an aggressive turn. He's going to second base and catches Martinez sleeping. What a heads-up base running move by Billy Hamilton. Never stop. Martinez not known as a defensive guy.
You never really know when your deficiency in outfield defense is going to show up. And I mean, Martinez did about as much as he possibly could. The throws on the money, it was a one-hopper. He got to the ball as quickly as he can. But believe it, Martinez is in the lineup because of his bat, not because of his defense. So Billy takes advantage of that. And the Reds have that go-ahead run there at second base now.
How is that exciting when you could turn that into being on second base in a tie ball game in the 7th. And Peraza gets it down, and this will get Hamilton to third. Just like that, the go-ahead run 90 feet away for Joey Votto.
Be interesting really right here in this at bat how Joey Votto will approach this, and will Martinez come right after him, or will he see if Votto is going to chase something outside the zone here? Really all you're looking for if you're Votto is a pitch that you can hit into the outfield to drive the run in.
And this will get Hamilton home. Let's play some small ball and take a 3-2 lead.
Well, all set up by Billy Hamilton hustling.
Yep.
On what is a base hit single for 99 and 44/100ths of Major League Baseball players out there. That's a double for Hamilton.
The 57th RBI of the season for Votto, and on the career list, that moves him into sole possession of 7th on the all-time Reds list, one past Ted Kluszewski since 1900. 887th career RBI for Votto, passing Big Clue. Got a ways to go to get towards the top. Concepcion next on that list at 950, so he's got a ways to go for the 6th spot since 1900. That'll do it for the Reds in the 7th, but they take the lead again. 25th anniversary of the hit movie The Sandlot on Friday, September 14th. You can enjoy this movie, a classic movie, on the big board at Great American Ballpark. Bring the entire family for free and enjoy the show. For details, visit reds.com/movie night, and that is a great idea. Watch The Sandlot, GABP. Good stuff. Greg Garcia at the plate. Lucas Sims still on the mound. Sims came into the game in the 5th. Worked through Molina, Martinez, Ozuna, 2, 3, and 4 in the 5th. Struck out 2 in a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. We'll have to face back-to-back lefties here. Garcia and Matt Adams is in the on-deck circle. Two. Full count. Payoff pitch. And he walked him. First base runner against Sims. Only the 3rd walk given up by Reds pitching today. Now he'll tangle with Matt Adams. No, he won't. Here comes Jim Riggleman. As soon as Adams is announced, Jim Riggleman's going to call on Jared Hughes. The bullpen door is open, and Hughes is sprinting to the mound. But a good Reds debut for Lucas Sims. Innings, strikes out 3, but walked Greg Garcia to lead off the 7th here, and he'll turn way to Jared Hughes.
Hughes was in 67 games last year for the Milwaukee Brewers. 67 the year before that for the Pirates, and this is game number 61 here for Jared this year. He's pitched more innings already than he has in either of those last couple of seasons. Now 32 years old, first of a 2-year deal.
Reds currently only have one left-hander in the pen. It's Wandy Peralta. He was used earlier in this game. But Hughes, in his career matchups versus Adams, 1 for 11 is Matt Adams. right at Votto, and that'll be a double play. How do you do? And thank you very much.
A couple of times today, the Cardinals hit the ball right on the button, but have somebody with a glove at the other end, and that time the ball finds Votto's glove, step on the bag, and a quick 2. Well, I don't know how many times it's happened, but it just seems like every other time you bring Jared Hughes into a ball game with a runner in base in a double play situation, he gets a double play. Now, normally it's a ground ball double play, but you take him as you're giving him.
Now Hughes v. Carpenter. Carpenter 0 for 2 here today and a walk. Had a base hit last night, Friday night, and that big 2-run home run. National League leader in home runs. Continues to shock the baseball world in that category. 4 ahead of Arenado and Aguilar. .250 batter is Carpenter off of Hughes, 3 for 12. Does have a home run, a double, and 3 walks. Two-one pitch. 3-1.
You know, the one thing that Matt Carpenter's thinking here right now can be a game difference swing if he puts the right swing on the right pitch.
Strike called. And Carpenter doesn't like it a bit. A little conversation with Ed Hickox. Hughes will take it. Three-two. Votto gloves another one, and again will take it himself. 7 in the books. 1-run game. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We look forward to your expert analysis after the game. Dakota Hudson, the new pitcher for the Cardinals, after his warm-up tosses, briefly the manager and the trainer came out for a quick meeting and apparently has deemed himself okay. Not sure what it was about, but 16th appearance for Hudson, 2.87 ERA. Suarez, Shepler, Mason Williams is trying to add on to a 3-2 lead.
Been a big year for Dakota Hudson. Got invited to spring training as a non-roster invitee. Sent him back to Memphis to start the year. He was a starting pitcher in the Pacific Coast League All-Star game. And then he was selected in July to represent the Cardinals in this year's All-Star Futures game. And a couple of weeks after that, he gets his call up, and he's, I think, earned 3 wins on the year.
He was named Pacific, the PCL Pitcher of the Year.
I always find that easier to say, too.
I started with the long.
I'm with you. I got you.
Now it's a challenge. The Pacific Coast League. Only allowed 1 home run in 19 games at AAA Memphis. Full count to Suarez. One out. And now a quick message from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky.
One out batter is Scott Shepler. Cubs continue to blast the Phillies in Philadelphia. 8-0, bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, that was Aaron Nola on the mound today for the Philadelphia Phillies. I think they've knocked 3 home runs off of him.
Yep. Milwaukee 9-4 in the 9th over Washington.
That's where the Cardinals will leave and be headed to today after today's game. In fact, it'll be Flaherty and Max Scherzer on the mound tomorrow. And that first of 3 for the Cardinals as they head to the East Coast.
Shepler draws his second walk of the afternoon. He's walked twice, been hit by a pitch. Share on your Red Legs when they take on the Padres this Saturday. You can see it for as low as $12 thanks to Queen City Sausage. The first 20,000 are going to get that very cool Joe Morgan replica statue. Join the Reds in celebrating the 5th anniversary of the Hall of Famer's bronze statue dedication. Tickets are available at reds.com. Mason Williams 0 for 3 here today. .1-0 pitch. This could be 2. Nope, throw off line. Didn't get it. Couldn't get it turned in time. was hit hard enough to turn two.
Certainly looked like it was hit hard enough to turn two. It was a bad peg to second base, and that and the fact that got a little hustle going down the line right there. And Mason Williams.
So Williams replaces Schebler at first base, and now 2 outs. And Kurt Casale at the plate. Easy play for Martinez. And Strand, a runner in the 8th. Middle of the 8th, 3-2 Reds.
Every single Reds game here on Fox Sports Ohio for Reds Live, brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing as we preview that day's game. And don't forget, tomorrow an early start on this holiday weekend. It is a 1:30 game, so 1 o'clock. Reds Live gets underway. Matt Harvey goes up against Williams tomorrow. Again, 1 o'clock for Reds Live, the pregame show. You know, Jim and Chris, you were talking about the innings that the Reds bullpen has racked up, and more specifically, the 2 guys towards the end of that bullpen. And Jim Riggleman talked about that today, and I also talked to Jared Hughes, and Riggleman says, you know, it really doesn't bother him because they're not coming close to 80 games. And remember, when Hughes got a couple of days off, I think the last time he pitched on 3 days rest, he wasn't that good. I think you mentioned this. He told me, I like to pitch consecutive days, and I don't like to get that much rest in between starts. He said, my arm feels good, and we're very honest. The skip asks us every day, how do we feel we go? And, you know, and I guess, Chris, when you talk to these pitchers, they got to be honest with the manager.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because the tendency is to try to man up even when your arm doesn't feel well and say, hey, I can go skip, because you want to be characterized as a warrior type. But for Jared Hughes, I think he's on to something, because he's a sinker ball pitcher. A little bit better, I think, when you take that raw strength edge off. I've known a lot of sinker ball pitchers who were starters who would throw a little bit of a bullpen actually the day before they would pitch in a game. Most pitchers would never do that, just to take the edge off and their ball would sink a little bit more. Three balls and a strike to Yadier Molina. Molina, Martinez, Ozuna here in the 8th. Although when you get tired this time of the year, sometimes you don't recognize the fatigue if you're in the dugout. You can't look at the radar gun. Sometimes it's loss of command that is the first sign that a pitcher is beginning to lose it.
Well, Riggleman is old school all the way. I mean, he was very open, not only today, but previous days, of saying, particularly his guys, his go-to guys, Hughes, Iglesias, Hernandez would be in that category, as he walks Molina in the eighth. And he doesn't think 80 innings pitched is that big of a deal. Jared Hughes has been very open, saying that's his goal. He wants to pitch 80 innings.
Well, I think this year, the way the schedule is designed, it favors those pitchers and managers that want to use them a little bit more, because we've had a schedule that started earlier in the year, a week earlier, so consequently you have more off days, so built into the schedule, and I think that really helps the way you can manage your bullpen. We did use Jackson Stevens the other day 3 days in a row, but wanted to stay away from Hernandez, Hughes, and Iglesias 3 days in a row.
The Reds have been able to dance around these leadoff walks so far in this game. Matt Carpenter walked to lead off the first. Patrick Wisdom walked to lead off the second. A hit by pitch to lead off the fourth. That run did score. Leadoff man walked in the seventh, and now a leadoff man walks here in the eighth. Can they weave some more magic? We got a pinch runner on first base. It's Odolis Garcia, representing the tying run.
Yeah, the guy at the plate is always dangerous. He's a good breaking ball hitter, which makes him a pretty good matchup for Jared Hughes, which his fastball is down the low 90s. After reaching base 5 times in the first game of the series, he has yet to find first base since.
These last 7 at bats, 0 for 7, 6 strikeouts, all swinging.
And you can see what Hughes is trying to do. He's just trying to throw that slider, get Martinez to chase. He's chased 2 for strike 3 earlier in the game. Those were both against DeScafani.
Two-one pitch into left field, a base hit. Tying run in scoring position.
Well, he finally got a pitch that was in the middle part of the plate that he could handle. The Reds have pitched him really well, down and away and down and away, but look where that pitch is. At 92 miles an hour, you speed the bat up, you find a hole, and Danny Darwin will amble out to try to break it up a little bit.
And at the same time, Michael Lorenzen is up and throwing. This is the second time Lorenzen warming up this afternoon. So quite the situation. Nobody out. Tying run on second base. Go ahead run on first. And the cleanup batter, Marcell Ozuna, coming to the plate. Ozuna has faced Hughes 9 times, 2 for 9. Ground ball, slowly hit. Votto's only play is to first. 1 out. Now decision time here. Do you load the bases? Set up a force play at every base? Indeed. They're going to intentionally walk Paul DeYoung. Load the bases for Patrick Wisdom.
Solid managerial move right here, at least according to the book. You got to go, but you got a sinker ball pitcher who's rolled up an extraordinary number of ground balls up a plate. This is the first time that we have heard the crowd into it as much as they are right now.
Another sellout, 45,000 plus. Sensing the moment. Game on the line. And a first pitch strike.
Not only a first pitch strike, but a first pitch strike at the very top edge of the strike zone, inside corner, the last place. Probably Patrick Wisdom thought that he would see that pitch. They probably told him in the dugout, oh, this guy keeps the ball down. Just look down around your knees.
Popped up.
That's an infield fly. And a beauty.
Huge out.
Right now, that's the biggest out of this ball game.
Yep. And now Harrison Bader versus Jared Hughes. Bases juiced. One-run game.
Cardinals' lack of left-handed hitting, and the lack of left-handers in the bullpen also, but I mean, for the most part, you know, lack of any kind of left-handed thump coming off the bench is just a glaring deficiency right now. Let Patrick Wisdom, longtime minor leaguer, come up and bat like that, and one more to work through here with Bader.
Slowly hit. Peraza's going to have to hurry. Bare hand throw, and they didn't get him. Tie game.
Every time I see Harrison Bader, he seems to run even faster than the previous time. This time, what a play by Peraza. And Bader just simply outruns the baseball. I mean, there are very few players that actually gain on the ball when it's in the air. I think Hamilton's one, and Bader is one.
That was a heck of an effort by Peraza.
Oh, that lead-off walk.
Yep. Leadoff walk comes around to score, and we are tied at 3. And now here is a lefty, Greg Garcia. Awkward swing. Hughes ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Jairo Munoz on deck should we get there. Oh, 2. Ground ball to Jeanette. Flip to Peraza. They just get the runner. And Harrison Bader immediately pointing to the dugout. And they're going to throw home anyways, and Casale's going to step on home plate. Because Bader didn't think he was out at second base. But the runner from third never came home.
Well, that is a brilliant play by Bader. I mean, it really is. you run through the bag much faster than you do if you slide into the bag. So he's taking a shot right there, and he's telling everybody else to keep going, and he's also pointing into the dugout. There will evidently not be an official review to this, but that is just a very smart play.
We will head to the ninth, tied at 3. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Ram. It's the no comparison event at your Ram dealer. Don't miss the great deals on Ram today. Ninth inning deadlocked at 3. Rubber game of 3. Reds and Cardinals going to the wire.
Well, I just go back to that play by Harrison Bader. I just think that was really a smart effort, even though it came up just a split second short.
First pitch swinging is a pinch hitter, Tucker Barnhart, and he will be easily retired for out number 1. Catchers Francisco Pena. As Garcia pinch ran for Molina, and now Pena has to take over behind the plate. One out in the top of the order here, and it's Billy Hamilton. Hamilton, 2 doubles today, and both of them all Billy Hamilton. Ball's grounded into the outfield. Hustling on both of them, particularly the last one. And he scored both times that he's doubled. Just to stare down an 0-2 count here. This is all Billy. I said both of them ground balls. That one obviously not. This one right here, though. Russell all the way. Back to the box. 2 outs. That'll bring up Jose Peraza. 1-1. Balls and 2 strikes. Chop and fair ball. 1-2-3 inning. Reds go quietly in the ninth. Mercedes-Benz of Westchester in Cincinnati. For tickets, visit Reds.com. The pitcher on for the Reds here in the bottom of the ninth. It's right-hander Michael Lorenzen. And he will face a pinch hitter in the form of Jairo Munoz. Munoz, Carpenter, Pena here in the ninth for the Cardinals. And a first pitch strike from Lorenzen. Saw Munoz start the first 2 games of this series at second base. Had a 2 RBI night on Friday. Was hitless here yesterday. And that's a fair ball. Munoz on his way to second base. And he's in there with a leadoff double.
Well, he was decoyed into a head-first slide at second because Peraza made it seem like he was accepting a throw, just to make sure that he didn't decide to turn it on and try to go into third base. He gets a high outside fastball and just slashes it right down the first base line. That's a pretty good bit of hitting there. I'm not so sure I like that particular strategy on the part of Lorenzen, but he threw it where they wanted to, and Munoz just put a good swing on it.
And they will intentionally walk Matt Carpenter here.
Wow. So you have a leadoff double. You have Carpenter going down there to set up the force, and you're wondering now about how many tight ball games that the Reds have been in this year, one-run games. The Cardinals have been in years. Sometimes it's your success in one-run games that determines where you're going. Look at Milwaukee. They are 27-18 in one-run games. Cardinals are even 18 up and 18 down. Normally you're around 500. If you're a little bit better or worse, it's luck. But in the part of the Reds, 9-22, that comes under the category of playing just well enough to keep it close.
And that's the difference in Milwaukee's season right there. Speaking of which, it's a final in Washington. Milwaukee winners 9-4. Cardinals trying to keep pace. And the Cubs continue to lead the Phillies 8-1. That one in the bottom of the ninth now. The three-horse race in the Central. Business at hand here. Bunt by Pena, and man, does it hug the line and stays fair. It's as if the baseline had a crown to the inside.
Well, no choice now, but you bring the outfielders in as close as they have to be in order to be able to throw a speedy runner out from third base. You bring an extra infielder in the infield so that you have as much glove work as you possibly can in the infield so you can cut off the run at the plate. And that's exactly what they've done. They're going to take Schebler out of the game, put in Brandon Dixon in the game, and station him in the infield somewhere. So the Reds will have two men in the outfield, Mason Williams in left center and Billy Hamilton in right center.
So the talk of strategy is over. Leadoff double, Jairo Munoz. They intentionally walk Matt Carpenter, and Francisco Pena lays down a perfect bunt to load the bases. Bases loaded. And the Cardinals' best hitter as far as average goes, Jose Martinez. Five infielders. Three on the left side, two on the right. And the two outfielders very shallow.
Yeah, technically you call that a six-man infield because as soon as the pitcher releases the baseball, he too is an infielder.
Oh, 1 pitch. Went chasing.
That's a good pitch right there, 94. And he chased earlier in the ball game. 3 strikeouts already on the day here. You get him right here, and you've got a whole lot better chance of getting out of this thing.
Oh, 2. We'll do it again.
Everybody on their feet.
Defensive swing, and Martinez stays alive.
Well, you know, at this point, Martinez is looking away. He knows that Lorenzen is going to pitch him down and away, probably with a slider at some point. So what he's doing is actually looking down there and will chase pitches way off the plate because he's convinced that's where he's going.
Swing and a miss. And Lorenzen gets out number one.
This time he didn't go outside, he just went straight down with it and actually hit off the back of the plate. Good job by Casale. And the over-anxious Jose Martinez goes down for the first out.
And now Marcell Ozuna.
This is a matchup that favors the Reds too. Six-man infield stays the same.
Nice job by Casale keeping it in front. Ground ball. Got to come to the plate. Here comes Jeanette's throw, and he's out. Two outs.
What a good play. Just solid, fundamental baseball right here. You catch it, you throw it, you play it as a first baseman if you're Kirk Casale. And that's a legal slide down there by Munoz, trying to get Casale to bobble the ball. So now we go back to a much more conventional defense.
Brandon Dixon went to the dugout, got an outfield glove. He's headed to right field. Traditional defensive alignment. Paul DeYoung at the plate.
Well, what an exciting inning.
One. No balls and two strikes.
I'll tell you, Michael Lorenzen pumping nothing but strikes, quality strikes too.
In the air, right side. Jeanette calls off Dixon and gloves it, and how about Michael Lorenzen? Bases loaded, nobody out. We are going to extra innings. Fired up. promise. Time for our Miller Lite Hold True moment. Bases loaded, nobody out. Michael Lorenzen stares down Jose Martinez. Strikeout. Gets some defensive help. Jeanette Casale, 2 outs. And that gets Paul DeYoung to pop out. And Lorenzen, yes, sir. A little free baseball. Heart of the order for the Reds coming up. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez, and they will face Bud Norris.
Yeah, I know that there is more than one very capable analytics-minded Reds fan out there. I'm wondering what the odds are historically in getting out of a jam with no runs, of bases loaded, nobody out.
Yep. Pitch to Votto.
Norris throws a cutter, and if you're looking in there and you see the catcher's sign where it's kind of have a, he's trying to make a C with his hand. His thumb will be coming up straight across and his index finger straight down, trying to make the form of a C, and that's the, we'll know before Votto will what's coming.
Votto's seen Bud Norris 21 times, 7 for 21, a .333 batter, and 2 home runs. Two-one pitch. Count. Let's have Raisel Iglesias warming up. Do it again. Payoff pitch to Votto. And he walked him. Go ahead run on first base. That is the 7th walk today by Cardinals pitchers.
The Reds only have 5 hits, so the walks have been their best offensive weapon so far.
Only one of those walks have scored. It was Votto in inning number 1. Cardinals also hit a batter. That runner did not score. 3-3 game, top of the 10th. Two and 0 to Scooter. Wisdom has room. One out. And here's Suarez. Suarez 0 for 3, walked back in the first. Up and in. Reds just made an announcement of a trade of the minor variety. Preston Tucker, who was one of the players involved in the Adam Duvall trade from the Braves, who has since been optioned or sent out, I should say.
Yeah, he was optioned out to the minor leagues.
There you go. Optioned out to the minor leagues.
And then traded from the Louisville Bats or the Reds organization back to the Atlanta Braves.
Here's a deep drive by Suarez, and Bob baby! Hey, Eugenio Suarez unties this one in the 10th. And what a way to get RBI number 100.
And off of all people, the closer for the Cardinals. Hit it against a good one right here. The Reds only have 6 hits, but they've made the most of them right here as Suarez loses one into the bullpen. Hope one of the guys caught that and gives it to him on the team plane here this evening.
Sitting on 98 RBIs and 99 in 100 the dramatic way. 5-3 Reds. .31 long balls now for Suarez and 100 RBIs. What a season it has been. And that ties him for the National League lead in RBIs with Javier Baez, each with 100. 408 feet worth.
Another breaking ball. Well, not only does he hit the breaking ball very well, but he hits it when it's important. That is the 21st home run this year that he has hit with a runner on base. That is #1 in all of Major League Baseball. So coming up clutch.
One-two pitch to Brandon Dixon, and Dixon puts a charge into one. See you later. Back-to-back home runs off of Bud Norris. 6-3 Reds.
Oh. Strong hit.
The Reds bullpen out there has a bullseye in it. Back-to-back deep ones into the pen.
They were ducking them the other night and they're catching them today.
About the Reds here in the 10th. Wow. 2 balls and a strike to Mason Williams. Reds have silenced this crowd. In fact, they've sent many of them to the exits. Told you about that bullpen being active. How about David Hernandez in the hat catch? Loses it in the celebration, but we'll give him the out. Ball came out on the exchange. Nicely done. Bud Norris walks Mason Williams here, and some serious grumbling, not only coming from the crowd, but Mike Shilp. That ball wasn't in the mitt for a split second of Pena, and he will send Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, out to the mound.
There are no days off for the Cardinals before they head to Washington to play a 3-game set right there. So I think part of this mound trip by Maddox is to go out there and let the reliever, they got a left-hander down the bullpen, warm up and get him into a ball game here before, you know, Norris throws so many pitches you may have to lose him for a couple of days.
Brett Cecil in the pen. And the batter's Kurt Casale. Started with a Votto walk. Jeanette fouled out. And Suarez, 2-run shot. Back-to-back home runs. Dixon solo shot. And now Mason Williams with a walk.
Boy, the improbable right here of getting out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam and coming right back and dropping 3 on the board.
Still only 1 out in the inning. Phillip Ervin has climbed into the on-deck circle for the Reds. Trying to snap a 10-series winning streak by the Cardinals. Trying to accomplish something they haven't done since 1979. That would be 3 consecutive series wins over the Cardinals in the head-to-head matchups with St. Louis. In 79, they won 4 straight series. One-two pitch. Got him. 2 outs. And here comes Phillip Ervin. And that's going to be it for Bud Norris. Last home run that Norris had surrendered before today was back on July 23rd. It came off the bat of Eugenio Suarez. Lightning strikes again. about these Reds? 6-3, top of the 10th. 3-run inning. Brett Cecil facing Phillip Ervin. 2 outs, runner on first base. About Lightning striking twice Suarez off of Norris. Reds are hoping that Lightning strikes twice as far as the series go. Talked about all weekend long about this 10-series winning streak by the Cardinals. The last series that they lost to the Cincinnati Reds in July. Suarez. Dixon. Reds will try to protect a 3-run lead. To 3. And to try to protect this 3-run lead and win the series, Raisel Iglesias on the mound. '56th appearance for Iglesias, 2.52 ERA. 24 saves on the season. Pitched an inning and a third here last night. Scoreless, as Castillo, Hernandez, Iglesias combined on a 2-hit shutout.
Closing in on that number of saves that he had last year. He had 28 last year, Iglesias did. He's got 24 now.
New left fielder is Phillip Ervin. And in right field, Mason Williams moves from left to right. First pitch strike to Patrick Wisdom,
who had probably the biggest at bat for the Cardinals when he came around with the bases loaded and 1 out in that 8th inning. And he popped up a ball to Joey Votto at first base to a fly. And that was just one of a couple of really important at bats there. Boy, the Cardinals had the Reds on the ropes in the 8th and the 9th.
Look at breaking ball got away from him. The 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. walks, the leadoff man here in the 10th. And the batter's Harrison Bader. 12 RBIs today for Bader. This is outside and low.
Iglesias had 2 days off before he pitched last night. Pitched an inning in the third, threw 28 pitches in that ball game.
In the air, left center field. Irvin on the track. Runner from first tags up. 1 out. Garcia. Foul tip, 0-1.
Got to be getting to that time in the afternoon with the shadows across the field. The pitcher is illuminated. The shadow between home plate and pitcher's mound. Tough to pick up the spin.
Ball gets away from Casale, and moving on to third base is Wisdom, but that runner really no concern if you can get outs. Officially a passed ball. One pitch. Raza fields, fires, 2 outs, run scores. 6-4 game. Cardinals down to their final out, and the batter will be right-hander Carson Kelly. And he is the last position player off the bench. Mike Schilt. And a first pitch strike. Giddy up on that one at 97. One and two. balls and 2 strikes. Full count. And the last thing you want to do is bring the tying run to the plate, and it would be that guy at the plate. Payoff pitch. He stays alive. We'll do the 3-2 again. And another foul straight back. And he walked him. Tying run will come to the plate.
You rarely say that a hitter earned the walk, but Carson Kelly was awful tough out right there.
Danny Darwin will come out and talk to Raisel Iglesias. Type of game, why not have it on the line? Tying run at the plate, and it'll be in the form of the guy leading the league in home runs, Matt Carpenter. Primetime matchup. One of the best closers in the game versus the man leading the National League in long balls. First pitch to Carpenter is downstairs.
Well, until the count goes into the pitcher's favor, and they're going to walk him. How about that?
Yep.
And I think that's a smart move.
Francisco Pena will hit. Jim. Pena had that bunt single in the ninth. Two outs, Iglesias walks Carson Kelly. Jim Briggleman intentionally walks Matt Carpenter. He represents the tying run. Here comes Iglesias with the 0-1. Two and one. There's that Sal Romano warming up in the pen. Two balls and a strike. Right field, Mason Williams fighting off the sun, and he makes the catch. What an impressive win for the Reds. It went down to the wire, but a bases loaded, no out situation in the bottom of the ninth. Lorenzen gets out of it. Back-to-back home runs, Suarez and Dixon in the 10th, and they hold on for a 6-4 victory to take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals.